How much do you know about some of the things that make us unique as a people and country? Like our ackee, for instance, which forms part of our national dish. And what about our national heroes? How much do you know about them? The information is inside today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Stay with us.
Is a holy thing Jamaica life.
Don't make diseases spread. Wash your hands with soap and water instead. Wash them regular or use a hand sanitizer. Make sure the germs them dead. Touching your eyes or your mouth or your nose. Wash your hands before you do things like those. After you use the bathroom before preparing food, come on, wash your hand them clean.
Good day, I'm Andrea Chizom and this is your JIS News for Thursday, October 15. A significant element of government's 381-megawatt project to reduce the country's energy bill came to fruition this week. The Jamaica Public Service Company launched its $2.5 billion project to convert its Bogue plant in St. James into a dual facility for automotive diesel oil ADO and liquefied natural gas LNG. This will replace obsolete baseload generation equipment at the 120-megawatt plant with a more efficient, lower-cost fuel system. Energy Minister Philip Powell says in addition to cheaper electricity, the project will provide a channel for new opportunities, including the potential to establish Jamaica as a Caribbean energy hub. He adds that discussions with U.S. officials last year could see facilities being set up on the island for the distribution of LNG to other Caribbean countries at a cheaper rate.
We are so well placed geographically to establish a hub. Not only Jamaicans want gas. Gas can be distributed from Jamaica to Cuba when the embargo is lifted, to Haiti, to Dominic, to those of us in the Western Caribbean. And Jamaica can facilitate every ounce of that gas.
The Bogue conversion project is scheduled to be completed by the second quarter of 2016. Government's public-private partnership model is expected to add 4,000 new rooms to Jamaica's tourism sector during the next decade. Charisma Hotels and Resorts announced on Tuesday that it has acquired 228 acres of land in Landover St. Anne to build 9 hotels. The first is a 1,200-room all-inclusive to be opened in the winter of 2018.
This project will represent about 8,000 new jobs and opportunities. Direct jobs, yes. 8,000 direct jobs and about 5,000 indirect jobs. This is going to be one of the greatest developments that we have, that we are focusing right now.
The 8 to 10-year investment by Charisma Hotels and Resorts is estimated at $900 million. Hospital in Montego Bay, a new state-of-the-art private hospital in Rosal, St. James, is now fully opened to the public. The facility, which was built at a cost of $2.3 billion, is the only private Jamaican hospital with an intensive care unit outside of Kingston and should help boost government's health tourism plans for Jamaica. In the first phase of operations, Hospital in Montego Bay will have a 24-hour emergency room, a 22-bed hospitalization area, a 5-bed ICU, a laboratory, and outpatient services.
The government welcomes this investment in the sector and appreciates the significant positive effect on your operation on the overall health care delivery system in Jamaica.
The police have seized 68 firearms and almost 800 assorted rounds of ammunition in Jamaica since the Get the Guns campaign was launched a little over 3 weeks ago. Law enforcers in Haiti, who are partnering with the Jamaica Constabulary Force to carry out the campaign, have also reaped significant results. Police Commissioner Dr. Carl Williams pointed to successes in one of their major operations.
That resulted in the seizure of some 13 illegal firearms that were destined for Jamaica and some 2,500 pounds of marijuana coming from Jamaica. Or that was exchanged actually for the illegal guns.
Meanwhile, the JCF continues to increase its resources to intercept illicit guns, drugs, and people who seek to enter Jamaica by sea. The United States has given the JCF 10 Boston whaler vessels valued at $1.5 million US. 9 vessels were handed over on Wednesday, and the remaining Boston whaler vessel will be handed over in a few weeks. This will bring the number of reliable vessels in the Police Marine Division to 16 and will place Jamaica as the Caribbean country with the largest maritime presence. The police commissioner says other partnerships with the United States will help to further strengthen the JCF's capacity.
Through our partnership, the JCF is expecting to be provided in a short time with bicycles to enhance the fleet of patrol bikes that we have around the island. And within the next few months, I will call the members of the media here once again to witness the handover of body-worn cameras that will be used to ensure that police accountability is boosted.
And finally, the Health Ministry is enhancing its control activities in all parishes to tackle the increase in the mosquito population. To start, the ministry has released a schedule to carry out fogging in several Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Thomas communities, while persons are urged to report areas for fogging to their parish health department. Focus will also be placed on schools. Individuals are also urged to get rid of mosquito breeding sites and protect themselves from mosquito bites by wearing long-sleeved clothing and using insecticides to kill adult mosquitoes. The mosquito population in the home may also be reduced by putting mesh on doors and windows. Health Ministry officials say the population of mosquitoes that are now causing concern for many citizens has increased because these types lay their eggs in the soil during the dry period and hatch once it rains. These do not generally spread diseases but can cause discomfort. They are most active between 5:30 and 7:30 in the mornings and evenings. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Thank you for watching.
That's the old way of doing things. Introducing Government of Jamaica Electronic Procurement, a speedy, transparent and accessible online method used to bid for government contracts. Contact the Ministry of Finance and Planning for more information.
The right to land and housing is a battle fought by some of our national heroes, and their success has left a legacy that's being continued today by the government. Let's see.
Land is the only source of the material life of the people. It provides food and shelter. It furnishes work and wealth. It is the basis of all production, of all development, of all security, of all growth. It is, in very truth, the root of our being.
Some very wise words from national hero Norman Washington Manley. And those words are still true. Land remains an important tool for human capital development.
You have a government that is committed to enabling our people to have ownership of the country of their birth and the land of their foreparents.
And the administration has been working through a series of programs to make this happen. The goal of building an ownership society has taken yet another step with the recent launch of the National Land Titling Program.
The launch of the National Land Titling Program gives a clear indication that this government means business when we say we are building and ownership society in Jamaica.
Under the program, some 45,000 land titles will be handed over to Jamaicans across the length and breadth of the island.
This program will bring together all the government agencies and the stakeholders who are involved in the process of producing titles for land and homeowners across Jamaica.
The government agencies involved include the Ministry of Transport, Works and Housing, the Administrator General's Department, the National Land Agency, and the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries.
I'm also pleased that a coordinator has now been engaged to ensure the efficient and effective outcome of the program.
To facilitate the faster processing of land titles, government has also made changes to the Administrator General's Act. These measures follow other government programs for land ownership, which include a $90 million Development Bank of Jamaica grant to the LAMP program and the European Union Agriculture Ministry's Sugar Barracks relocation project.
Owning a piece of this rock will not only benefit you and your family, but will create a better community and ultimately a better Jamaica.
The National Land Titling Program has hit the ground running, issuing 63 certificates of possession at its recent launch. Beneficiaries came from Tower Hill, Seaward Pen, and Seaview Gardens in St. Andrew. Title holders now have the potential to boost their own economic and social development.
Let your registered title, let it work for you. We have placed the power in your hands to build your lives, build your communities, and by extension, to build our country.
The JIS Heritage Essay Competition is here again. If you're a primary or preparatory school student aged 9 to 12, you may enter. Write an essay on the topic, "A Day in the Life of My Favorite National Hero." Ensure your essay is 400 to 500 words. Include a title page and list of references, with JIS being one of the sources. And submit the essay using the application form on the JIS website, jis.gov.jm. Deadline is Saturday, October 31, 2015. So start writing your essay today! For more information, contact the Jamaica Information Service at 926-374-026, extension 2137 or 2023, or email heritageessay@jis.gov.jm.
Schools across the island this week are celebrating our rich culture and heritage through clothes, food, and other ways. It's a tradition that has been going on for years to keep us connected to our roots. Another way we also showcase our heritage is by highlighting the life and work of our national heroes. We stopped at the museum in Manchester to get facts on Norman Washington Manley.
This place is too powerful and certainly too important to our national memory to have been laying in ruin. The walls of Roxborough must enshrine the story of the social, political, and economic transformation that Norman Manley brought to this country and certainly shone to the rest of the world.
And so it shall. On July 4, 2013, a museum reflecting the life, work, and passion of the former Premier of Jamaica and national hero Norman Washington Manley was opened. Let's get the facts now on this national treasure. Did you know that housing projects such as Mona Heights, Harborview, and Doheny Park in St. Andrew were all conceptualized and started under the leadership of Norman Manley? And did you know that the Beach Control Law of 1956 was introduced by him to ensure that all Jamaicans had the same access to our beaches as visiting foreigners? Well, those and other facts can be read from the displays mounted in the hallowed halls of Roxborough, Manchester, the birthplace of Norman Manley. They help to tell the story of his legacy and keep his memory alive.
It is our hope that even this restored place and the humility of what we see that Norman Manley was born in, and in some cases developed in, will imbue the spirit of social consciousness that led him, for his example, to use his own money to spawn Jamaica welfare.
History tells us that Norman Manley wasn't a man to wait for things to happen. He believed in taking action to make them happen. Among the long list of his achievements, Manley is known for making significant contribution to the trade union movement in the 1930s. He guided the construction of Gordon House, which remains the country's seat of parliament. And his tireless work in helping to write Jamaica's constitution and win independence from Britain in 1962 is legendary.
He was a passionate social activist who thought at first his advocacy for the poor and disenfranchised was best served through his social work. He regarded community effort as a pillar for national development.
Roxborough also opens up the lighter side of Norman Manley, his family history from his roots, and his love of Edna. The couple courted for only 3 months before they got married. Edna and Norman enjoyed each other's company and spent a lot of time together. They even had nicknames for each other. Edna called him Kid, and he called her Jimmy Sunshine. Ever the romantic, Norman wrote Edna several love letters, excerpts of which are on display. Besides his adoring wife, Norman Manley had a passion for the arts. He loved dancing, music, and the theater. The Roxborough Museum also reveals personal information about N.W. Manley, like the story behind his middle name. Washington was deliberately chosen by his parents to draw on the courageous spirit of U.S. President George Washington, who took on the British as Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Army. And did you know that Manley was a teacher before he became a lawyer? He taught at Jamaica College as assistant master, moving on to Titchfield High in Portland and Hope Farm in St. Andrew.
Norman Washington Manley, he's a man that I would have loved to have known, because I see so many qualities in him that are so important for taking us to the next great phases of our development, one of which was unity, courage, and humility.
More than a century after his birth and decades after his death, the museum satisfies the curiosity about a man who was a champion of the people and a nation builder. Roxborough's restoration is the result of collaboration involving several state agencies and ministries. The project cost $11 million, an investment in the preservation of our nation's history. The museum is open to Jamaicans free of cost, Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
The JIS Heritage Poster Competition is here again. If you are an artistic teenager, the JIS Heritage Poster Competition is just for you. All registered secondary school students are eligible to enter. All you have to do is this: complete the entry form on the JIS website, jis.gov.jm. Then create a poster using images provided in the picture resources on the JIS website. And the topic? A moment in the life of a Jamaican national hero. Ensure that your poster is no larger than 11 inches by 17 inches and keep a copy of your poster. Posters will be judged on interpretation of the topic, originality, and presentation. Now for the submission details. Upload computer-designed posters using a cloud storage service such as Dropbox, SkyDrive, or Google Drive. Mail or drop off illustrated posters at the JIS head office or Montego Bay office. Deadline for submission is Saturday, October 31, 2015. So come on, unleash your creativity and win lots of prizes. For more information, contact the Jamaica Information Service at 926-374-026, extension 2137, 2023, or email heritageposter@jis.gov.jm.
What is tasty by itself, but add a piece of saltfish to it and what a treat you'll get. If you're thinking ackee, you're right. And Ramona Lawson engages us in a history lesson on the fruit.
Give me back me soap and blue. Give me back me soap and blue.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Guess me this riddle and perhaps not. My father have 3 picnic, and the whole of them head black. Aye, aye, aye.
One father, 3 picnic, 3 blackhead picnic. What could that be?
So short them can't wash.
Over here, sir. Over here, sir. Boy, them here nowadays, people no love read, you know. And you know, it wasn't always like this. Me say 48 years ago, on a day like today, picnic from country and from town did I make haste to learn the brand new national anthem. Line by line, figure sing and ring in the independence. Me see and hear everything with me on 2 eye. Well, I mean 3. Well, sometimes 4. Ma, me did dip on top of things. I wonder what would have happened if them the picnic they never love read. My father have 3 picnic, and the whole of them head black.
Over 420,000 African slaves were taken to the Americas through the West African slave trade scheme. But slaves and sugar weren't the only things bought and sold along the routes. Tobacco, hemp, guns, and rum were very popular trade items. But it says here that on one of those trips to Jamaica in 1778, something strange came ashore in one of the ships. It was a plant, it says, but it wasn't tobacco, it wasn't hemp, or cotton, or sugarcane.
Yes, me know the story quite well. It passed down from one generational seed to the next. My great-great-great-great-grandfather, me here, make it to this your land, clutch tight in a few great-great-great-great-great-grandfather hand. Hey.
When mama dear, you say you're sick. When mama gone, you get better.
Also, Jamaican herbalists and bush doctors prefer to use various plants and bushes from the island's rich flora over traditional medicines to treat several common illnesses. They have found natural treatments for food poisoning, fever, diarrhea, and even the common cold. So that is why my mother used to force feed me Cersei just before school started, explaining she was giving me a washout. And I remember she used to boil this tea from soursop leaves and give it to me for my colds. And what would you know? They actually worked.
Hi! But what is not this doing? No mention of me in my own country's folk medicine history. Me there so long. People use me wash them clothes, them use me scour them pot, shine. And as we treat cold, what soursop leaf can do, me can do it better. Halle, 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 halle.
Ah, yes. I have fond memories watching the Carri folk singers perform folk song classics like Under the Coconut Tree, Colon Man, Penny Wheelo. But most of all, I just love to hear them sing Me No Drink Coffee Tea, Mango Time. It was so sweet, you could almost taste it.
You see though? Look how long me there. Long before mango. I just want the mango come out here, you know. Me there from 1778. 232 years now. Me there so long people think of Yassa me come from. Me there so long. Uno know me inside out. Uno pour out me heart every day. And every half mile you walk, you see me standing tall. Uno all give me nickname. Make all joke after me. More than that, uno even find a way to cook and eat me. And just because me so common, uno forget me. You know, remember me is my country's favorite thing to sing about.
The things we Jamaicans say. We have a colorful way of putting just about everything, don't we? But wouldn't you agree? Aki is the most colorful of it all. Yes, reading is in fact a good habit to pick up, but I don't need all of this to tell me that Aki is in fact a national treasure. In fact, there was no great debate when George Scott recommended it to then Agriculture Minister John Giles as a national fruit in July 1962.
You're very welcome. Lord, what a night, not a fight.
He had put the question to some of the leading horticulturalists of the time, and the vote came back unanimously in favor of Aki.
Venomous!
Aki is so many things to so many people. Healer, icon, emblem, and of course, good food. Cheese Aki or butter Aki, whichever way you slice it or spread it. I am so into my Aki. And oh, the answer to the riddle, you guessed it, it was Aki.
For research materials on our heritage and national heroes, call our Research and Publications Department at 926-374-024 or our Television Department at 922-868-022. We have a rich archive and catalogue to share with you. Our website is another source for information you may need, so log on to jis.gov.jm and start that search today. And while you're online, send us your feedback via email to jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or a tweet at JIS News. Join us again tomorrow, same time, same station. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Adrian Atkinson, thanking you for watching, and do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.